on, everyone? Welcome into the stream, and hopefully you're staying warm. I know that it's quite cold where most people are residing right now, and I hope that you're staying warm and able to fire up the car and get to work this morning for sure. But appreciate you hanging out with me for the next hour. We're going to be placing some bets. Using my favorite tools over at OddsJam, talking about some different strategies, talking about, we're finally in Super Bowl week. Now, the week of the Super Bowl is here. We have a smaller slate of NBA games today. Big one tomorrow, but smaller slate today. So we're going to be going through, looking at that, looking at some Super Bowl bets, looking at some upcoming matchups for EPL and soccer. So a lot to dive into. So I do have DFS teed up and ready to go. So we're going to start off with some prize picks and then kind of move from there. But hopefully you guys are having a solid start to your morning. All right, so looking at some prize picks. DVigging currently right now to Pinnacle, right? DVigging to Pinnacle using worst case. We see some nice opportunities, especially this morning, at least this one. This match starts in about 15 minutes. So hopefully we can hit this one up. Let me see here. This is a great play. This next play, not so much on O'Connell, but when it comes to tennis, Pinnacle is very sharp. But at least for a 3-pick slip, it's not very good. So over on the game's one, okay, and then the sharp money tool. We have this play on Renzal for the overshots on goal, but it's not great in terms of the liquidity. The price that we're getting on a 3-pick slips -122, which beats Pinnacle's price, but it's not fantastic. It's very good to FanDuel, but not very good to Pinnacle. So I'm kind of middle of the road, middle of the pack on it. Let me fire up the DFS optimizer as well. And then we're using all the tools basically today, guys. Using everything. Let's go over and pull up FanDuel. They like this play on Sexton. This has a small edge. Again, a little early, but the under on his points. Taking on the Pelicans. FanDuel has this at -140 odds, which I'm fine adding that to the slip. So we'll go ahead and throw Sexton on there. And again, this tennis match here for Son Mez starts in about 45 minutes. So even though the Australian Open is over, still have some tennis going on, still some solid tennis markets to bet into. Let's see if we can take a look at the bookmaker if there's anything at all. No, circa, no, not really. Okay. If I throw on power, does that add in anything else? It does here with Pinto. It's a little low. What about FanDuel? A little bit more here with Musa. Same team, same game, so under points over rebounds, which I do like that because if he's missing some shots, maybe we get some extra boards. They'll still provide us a 6x payout on this slip, which is pretty solid. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this one on here, guys. I'll share this link with you. And as we start February, it is Groundhog's Day. I mean, as a Pennsylvanian, I got to make sure I let everyone know it is Groundhog's Day, which interested to know if anyone actually knows, or if most of you know what Groundhog's Day is. Mike, what's going on, man? Good morning to you. Irish, good morning, Wilbo. No doubt, Wilbo. And hopefully you're staying warm, my friend. John, I appreciate that, John. No doubt it will be. So there's a 3-pick slip over there on PrizePicks. And so there we go. All right. So I'm going to throw up a poll for those of you that are on here this morning. Just curious to know. Just curious. Maddie, what's going on, man? Punxsutawney Phil. No doubt about that. I didn't, obviously I woke up, guys, and just got ready for the stream, but I don't know if he saw a shadow or not. So we'll have to take a look. All right, let's go over to Underdog. Not sure if he did or he didn't. Not that it really matters. I tell you what, though, I think I talk about this because now I've been streaming for a couple of years now. I think every time we come to Groundhog's Day, I have to go. I always say I want to go. Though it's really cold in Pennsylvania right now. Hey, Siri. No, never mind. It's on my computer. I want to find out what the weather is in Punxsutawney. I'm spelling it wrong. Yeah, it's 3 degrees this morning. Not exactly jumping to go to Punxsutawney. It's only about a couple hours from where I grew up, but absolutely freezing. But they have an absolute time. They get buckled, plenty of drinking that goes on, a lot of celebrating for Groundhog's Day, no doubt about that. Probably, Maddie. It's probably gone for right now because I don't know when they announce it. You know, I'm not the best Pennsylvania. I should know when they announce it, but you definitely can trade that on Kalshi, 100%. All right, so let's look at some plays over here on Underdog. Remember, guys, your DVIG method really is going to dictate the DVIG method really dictates, what type of edge that you have. So I use worst case a lot. So this Musa play is like 3.31%. If you change this to power, then this becomes a 4.41%, right? And if you use like best case, this still stays the same. So it really just depends on your DVIG method. You're going to get some different EV edges. It's very important just to understand what's what. So again, we could go with Musa again. We could go with Wyatt Johnston. This is good to FanDuel, though I like to see what Pinnacle's odds are. They're at -128, not as bullish. So don't care as much, but we'll see what we can go over here on Underdogs. Let's go to Pinnacle. 2 results at the moment, Zubox and Pinto. Again, this is worst case. If we move this to power, we'll have a few more options, one more. Zubox, obviously, his edge goes up. Pinto, and then Jacob DeBrusk. I'm not really impressed right now by anything. The Zubox play is basically a low hold, no edge play. But Rinzel, or Rinzel, however you say this dude's name, plays for Chicago. We could bet his over shots on goal. Someone has about $700. They want this at -128. Okay. And then everything else is still a little bit too low of a liquidity for me. And the price I don't really care for. So to be very honest, at the moment, guys, there isn't much here on Underdog that I really like. I will be happy, though, to share a play from the Larry model if you guys will indulge me. Again, I talk about 2 discords from time to time on this stream that I really, really like. Number 1, I really enjoy Edge Zone, right? Arbfather, Arbologist, what they got going over there on Edge Zone. I love using it. It's a great tool. And the other one is Juice Bets. So I'm looking over here right now at their eSport model. It's their Larry model, which is very, very good. And I'm going to just share with you guys a 3-pick slip on Underdog. So for those of you that are looking for an Underdog slip, we don't have anything at the moment. I'm going to share something here with you guys so that you can. And using their model, been using it for a while now. It's very solid, and a lot of esports, CS, Counter-Strike Go, Valorant, a lot of solid slips. All right, this is going to be a slightly above a 6x payout, but let me go ahead and share the link here with you guys. All right, this is courtesy of the Larry model over there on Juice Bets. So normally we play a lot of unders on it. So, all right, there's that. Let's take a look at Better. We're just bouncing around to some different DFS books. It's a lighter slate of NBA games. To be fair, though, we had a really heavy slate of games this past weekend. Would love to hear from you guys how your February is off and running. Is it cold? Is it hot? You guys saw my post on X yesterday. I absolutely dominated closing line value and couldn't really win a bet. Won like under 30% of my bets when I was beating the close over 80%. So that's basically how it's been going for me for the last 38 to 40 days. Dub Club was absolutely atrocious. Just horrible. And so like I mentioned before, I sound like a broken record, but for the ones that stick around with me, I really, really, really appreciate you because I know that we're going to come back and we're going to make some money. So looking at this plays on Better right now. And Julius Randle, under on his assists. Very good to Pinnacle. It's okay to FanDuel. It's not great. But again, if you take like an average blend, I'm still in on this play. So the under on his assist, under 5.5. Okay. What's our discount over here on Better? What do we got today? What are you giving me? LaMelo on his points and rebounds. It's not really a discount, I would say. Şengün and then Anthony Edwards. Okay. So these aren't the discounts. These are like, they're like above and beyond. I'd probably take Anthony Edwards out of all of them. But if there isn't a discount, I'm not going to play it. We cashed the discount yesterday. I shared this with you guys. I don't know if anyone tailed this on Better yesterday during the stream, but we did cash this slip here. This was Luka, Derek White, Donk. We cashed this one, which was nice for $60. Currently, they're not offering any right now. I don't know if they haven't any cooked up, or maybe I'm finally like they won't let me bet anymore. We'll see. All right, let's go to the DVIG method. Let's switch this up to FanDuel. What do we got on FanDuel? J Huff. Talked about Musa before, so we'll hit up J Huff. I like that. Huff under on his points. Cool. And then we could go back to the well with Musa because this is a good play for a 3-pick slip. For Wyatt Johnston, kind of. But no pinnacle odds yet, so I'm okay with this. I'm all right with Musa. If you don't want to have him on 2 slips, I totally understand, guys. You want to limit your exposure. We're taking the over on his rebounds. All right. 3-pick slip. That's going to be a no insurance, perfect entry. And let me share this link with you guys here. We'll bounce over to Dabble. We'll look at pick 6 as well. See what's up. Irish, I know that, man. I appreciate that. Brian, yes. Both these Discords aren't free. So they do cost something. And I believe even at their lowest price point, I think it's still $50 to maybe $75 a month. But yeah, for sure. Good to I appreciate you letting me know that, Irish. That's all right. I mean, obviously we're up early this morning. So no big deal if they're not having any discounts, but the discounts do definitely help. So I'll take a little screenshot there. So yeah, in terms of trying things out, obviously there are a few people here that are OGs and DGens that are in Edge Zone. If anyone's in Juice Bets, let me know. I'm not very active in the chat, guys, on either of these Discords, but I'm lurking in the shadows. So let's check this out here for the for Juice Bets, their lowest tier package is $100 a month. If you want, so that's there. And if you want access to their Larry Esports model, that's $100 for 14 days. This is $150 a month. So it's not, obviously it's a serious investment. Excuse me. And let me go back to the dashboard here. I was going to say, there we go. And then for anyone that's in Edge Zone or wants to try Edge Zone, their lowest tiered plan is $97 a month. You can check that out there. And very, very solid. Very solid. They've been doing some really good things. Really, really good things. Been crushing it as of late. So if you guys are looking for something fresh, looking for something new, definitely check that out. All right, let's look at Dabble. And I'll also throw a parlay play as well in here as well, which is try to knock out 2 of them. So no Dabble shown at the moment for Pinnacle. Quite a bit over here at parlay play. I don't know if how many people are really into parlay play. 91. Wow, that's a lot. All right. I didn't mean to that wasn't underestimating your guys' intelligence, but 91% are familiar with Groundhog's Day, which is today. Kind of an unassuming day, February 2nd, but have to find out if Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow or not. Obviously there's the classic movie with Bill Murray, so check that out if you haven't. Just a kind of solid classic. All right, so with Musa here now, we've obviously bet a couple plays. If you're like, Billy, why is his under being recommended to us when we just bet his over? And again, it's all dependent on price. If a sportsbook is offering a price that's tantalizing enough, it's going to be positive EV. So you can definitely have sides. Or like today, We bet the over on Musa. Maybe everybody runs and bets the over. Later on today, now there's value on the under because the price has shifted, and now you want to bet the under. So this happens all the time in player props. It can be a little confusing sometimes if you're new to EV betting and you're placing bets in the morning, and then later on you check the tool and you're like, wait a minute, I bet LeBron under on his rebounds. Why is now there value on the over? And it's because it's just how the market fluctuates day in, day to day. So, all right, this Trey Murphy play I could get behind on, no problem. But we got to obviously find something else as well with Trey. Now, normally with parlay play, I'm playing 3-man slips or 4-man slips. That's kind of my jam when it comes to it. So let's go ahead and devig this back to FanDuel. And then I'm also going to come over here to the Sharp Money tool. And let's take a look at this for better. And let's look at this for parlay play. So nothing much. Better is Josh Doan and Shane Dursey. I don't really know. I mean, the liquidity is too low. Not a great price here. Yeah, Pinnacles are minus 120. And parlay play is telling me I need to enable my location, which it is parlay play. I did enable it. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, and then on FanDuel, they don't have much. FanDuel for Dabble right now is, these are okay. Again, I'm on Musa twice, though, and Sexton once. I'm not going to go after that again. Wyatt Johnston. But for anyone that wants to create a Dabble slip, you can do so right here with the under on Wyatt and then the under on Sexton and the over on Musa. 6 more weeks of winter. What's going on, Skunky? Hey, yo, que pasa? Mike said, Weather Channel reports Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. It's been a tough winter. Tough winter. Brutal winter. I think for most of everyone that lives in the East Coast, the Midwest, hell, I mean, if you, I missed the hockey game yesterday, guys, with the Bruins and the Lightning. But I think it was like 45, 50 degrees in Florida and Tampa when they were playing the game. It was actually perfect hockey conditions. Not bad. But still, dude, it was crazy. It's crazy. All right, so let's move on. Let's look at DraftKings Pick 6, and then we're going to look at some arbitrage plays. We'll look at some sharp money plays just for all the books for today. Nothing on FanDuel. Might be just too early. Pinnacle doesn't have a ton of player props added right now. Kawhi, though, does look very good. Kawhi's solid. That's almost a 3% edge. I like that. What about over here on nothing? Nothing at all. Okay, interesting. Yeah, wait. Appreciate you sharing that, man. He said he subbed for Juice Bets a few times for a few months at a time. Yeah, prices are going up, and I can definitely say that they'll probably continue to go up in the future. So they do, and I totally agree. If you're like me, and well, I don't live there anymore, but if you live in Pennsylvania or you live in a state that doesn't have a lot of DFS, Juice Bets is a very heavy DFS Discord, whereas Edge Zone is a nice balance of everything. They have, you can pick your sports books on Edge Zone. Definitely say if you're a no vig or Profit X user, there's a lot of utility on Edge Zone, a lot of plays that they have recommended. So that's really nice. Let's just select everything. Select all the markets, all the leagues. I'll keep off of alt markets. And we'll look at today for the moment. And again, we talked about the sportsbook boomers, but appreciate you telling me that, Way. Thanks, man. Well, as you as well. I know, Skunky, but I just would say, like, the way I see that they execute Punxsutawney Phil and how they do it, for the longest time, guys, as a kid, I legit thought that everyone was just quiet and they snuck up on the same groundhog hole every year and they just watched them come up and, like, take a look around and see what's up. But no, they just pull them out of a box and then they hold them up. Everyone goes, yeah, and they all got these top hats from 1923. And it's like, dude. And then everyone in the stand, everyone that's watching is bombed out of their mind, which I don't disagree with because it's 3 degrees outside up there. if I'm going to be outside, I got to be blitzed as well. So just kind of think I don't want to say it's a charade, but it's just not as wholesome as I thought it was. It's not that great. I'm going to remove overtime, guys. If you don't know, I've been using overtime, but for mainline markets and alt spreads, I check periodically, day to day. The OddsJam's not pulling in the correct odds. I definitely need to holler at them about that. Boomers, let me know, has anyone signed up for Boomers? Another poll. Big on the polls. Would love to know. But this Texas A&M Commerce play plus 2.5, minus 110. You can get it at Canby at minus 113. Any Canby Sportsbook, guys, you can get this. There's roughly around $2,900 here, right? $1,500 at minus 112, $1,000 basically at minus 113. So these guys want this spread. And what I will say is this is a decent amount of liquidity posted for, no offense to anyone that went to either of these two schools. These aren't the biggest schools out there, okay? It's not UCLA and Oregon. It's not Kentucky and Duke. I mean, it's just Texas A&M Commerce in New Orleans. So this is a solid amount of liquidity this early in the morning that I would say jump on this. Now, if you can't get it at minus 113, your next best option, because a lot of books don't have it, you can go grab this at FanDuel or the Score, right? ProfitX pushes it out there. I wouldn't do this at DraftKings, but this is 10 cents off, 8 to 10 cents, right? This person wants it at minus 112. If you can go up to minus 122, that's fine. So FanDuel, the Score, Canby, I'm fine with that. Decent amount of liquidity there. Southern at minus 4. Someone has $1,100 on this play. You can get it at Hard Rock at plus 100 odds. This person wants it at minus 113. Remember, when you're looking at this tool, it can kind of be confusing. If you see a big-ass green bar and you see plus 113, they're offering the users on ProfitX that they can bet it at. That means they want the other side. They want minus 113. And they want it for $1,100. So you can get this at Canby Sportsbooks, Bet365, SportsZeno, some of the softer books. So if you're limited on SportsZeno, Bet365, you got a couple different options here. MGM, DraftKings, some good plays. But obviously, if you have a healthy Hard Rock, not bad betting this play, especially Southern and Jackson State, small schools, very, very small. Outside of that, we see some player props early on. Now, this is a 4x multiplier for player props. I like anything that's 5x or more, but it's like, 9:30 in the morning right now, Eastern time. So, and I'm still an hour and a half away here on the West Coast from hitting 9 o'clock. So, betting Tyrese Maxey on his points. Excuse me. FanDuel thinks this is minus 125 odds. If you could bet this at the Score, if you could bet this at Hard Rock, honestly, bet 105. This is pretty good. This is only 5 cents off to Hard Rock here, guys. Pinnacle thinks this is minus 106. But again, this early in the morning, I don't think anyone's particularly super sharp. So, but again, this is a lower amount of liquidity. So it doesn't really hit the criteria for us. Şengün on his rebounds and assists. FanDuel's at minus 130. You can get this at Better. You can get this at Underdog and PrizePicks. So not bad, not bad. As you're going to see as we get later to today, there's going to be some insane liquidity posted on some player props. It's going to be nuts. Let's bump this out, guys, to the next 7 days because, football. What's up? Let's see what happens. Seahawks on the first half money line. In my opinion, guys, this is not a real price. I think OddsJam is incorrectly pulling this because we saw this yesterday, and I just kind of don't believe that that's actually true. Hey, golf, DraftKings. That Atlanta GC versus Jupiter Links. That golf league that Tiger Woods created that's on ESPN. You can bet on it. And it's a good price on DraftKings compared to Kalshi. But again, remember, when you see $6,500 at minus 209 on Kalshi, and you're like, wow, somebody really thinks this is a heavy favor on Kalshi. Well, yeah, but also, remember, this individual wants this price. They want Jupiter at plus 209. What you're going to see a lot of times on Polymarket and Kalshi, and hell, I mean, we don't show Betfair on here, but even Betfair is, I'm not saying we don't show Betfair, but I don't have it teed up, is that there's a lot of times that these guys are trying to set up arbitrage plays. They're trying to set up huge arbs. So they posted $6,500 at minus 209, which means they want plus 209 odds. Well, if you can get plus 209 on Jupiter, I mean, there's not a lot of books offering prices on Atlanta, but that's incredible. Because now you can arb this on DraftKings, and this is a money line play, which you can arb probably a decent amount of liquidity over there. So always have to keep that in mind, right? This person that offered $1,000 on Jupiter at plus 175, that means they want minus 175 on Atlanta. That seems to be a little bit more of a plausible, realistic price, right? Ty Jerome. Tough to say. Tough to say if this is like a truly awesome play because it's only $1,000. A little bit lower liquidity though at the moment. Drake May on his passing attempts, only $700. I'm a little disappointed. I thought there would be some higher liquidity plays since we are on Super Bowl week. Obviously, Pinnacle doesn't have odds posted for this play yet. It's a Canby Sportsbook play though. I mean, DraftKings at minus 153. A lot of scores minus 145. Even Fanatics is a minus 135. So I would definitely, if you want to, go bet this on one of your Canby books. Okay. And if you live in a state like I do, guys, where you have 3 different Canby options and you're lucky, you can use these different books and different strategies. Okay. You can say, you know what? Bet Rivers, I'm just going to only play maybe parlays that have an edge, and that's how I'm going to be able to just kind of, I'm looking lost for words at the moment. You want to prime your account. So you want to prime your Bet Rivers account. I'm only going to play SGPs over there that have an edge. Ballybet, I'm just going to nuke Ballybet for arbitrage betting. And you know what? Desert Diamond or Bet Parks, I'm just going to play a lot of plus EV plays over there that are solid, right? You can use these accounts in a lot of different ways, right? So maybe Bet Rivers is only your parlay book. You put your round robins, you put your SGPs together over there. Hopefully you get some longer longevity out of the account. If you're looking at like out of these books right here, I can kind of give you a rundown of who's going to limit you the fastest. Bet Parks is going to limit you super fast because they're a very small sports book. And then Ballybet and Desert Diamond are kind of similar. You'll have a little bit longer run time than Bet Parks, but not much longer. Bet Rivers is your most lenient, nicest out of all these books. Out of all the Canby books, Bet Rivers will let you go the longest without limiting you, but you'll still get limited, right? So if we know that Bet Rivers is the friendliest to limits, then maybe you want to try to elongate that by playing some parlays over there, right? So just different things to think about. Arbitrage betting. It's a little early for me in terms of player props to arbitrage bet. But again, it all depends on your account health. If you're limited on DraftKings, you're limited on FanDuel, you're limited on MGM, then just go bet as much as you can over there and arb, right? But if you're not limited on SportsZeno, again, I don't know how many casual sports bettors are betting an under on Reed Shepherd. This game doesn't start until 7 p.m. Eastern, and it's 9:30 Eastern right now. So how many people are betting an under on a player prop? Probably not too many, right? Now, different story with McConnell, okay? Because you're going to bet the over here on MGM. It's not all that much better that you're betting an over this early in the morning, but there's $1,900 over here on ProfitX. So this is a really solid arb, right? Like you could wager a lot of money here on ProfitX. When we open this up, maybe throw down a little bit on MGM. If you could throw some down on Hard Rock, that's cool. This is still an arb to the Canby Sportsbooks. It's just not as good of an arb, right? So keep that in mind. So what I really would prefer is I would just say, you know what, maybe we come over here to arbitrage, and I'm just going to look at mainline markets. Or you set up the next 7 days, and you're like, you know what, I just want to look for some Super Bowl stuff. This would be the time, guys, if you want to arb Super Bowl props, this is a great time to do so. Okay, now this is probably a mistake on 4CX, but it's an exchange, guys. So here's the thing with 4CX. Oh my God, we got to go on this. We got to go. There's no way this is real. Okay, remember, 4CX is an exchange, guys. So they're never going to limit you. So someone made a mistake when they posted this. So this is like real, okay? So the total points market. I don't know if maybe OddsJam's grabbing this incorrectly. I got to see more right now. I don't see it. But if you guys can find this on 4CX, this is an absolute gold mine because this is someone that posted liquidity for the wrong amount of money. Unless OddsJam is pulling the incorrect, but I don't see 10.5, so OddsJam could be pulling in the wrong numbers. But if you can find this, and if it is real, take every single dollar that you can from 4CX, every one, because this is an insane arb, insane middle. And because this is an exchange, it's not like you're going up against FanDuel. It's some other user posted this. Damn, I don't think it's real though, or OddsJam's pulling in the wrong thing. But it's so good. Okay, so that's 4CX. Unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of that. So I'm just going to remove, we're going to remove 4CX because it's going to just filter. It's just going to be littered all over the screen. But that's, damn. All right. So on the arbitrage tool for mainline markets, we talked about first half money lines. Bet now, it's probably, again, that's not a real thing. And we're down to now 4, okay? Profit X FanDuel, again, this is a very, very low arb, so probably not worth your time. But I just wanted to kind of take a little peek, see what's up. What about player props for the Super Bowl? A lot of sportsbooks guys are going to be taking more money on player props because it's the biggest game of the year in the NFL. So you're going to find that for player props for this game, there's going to be a much, much higher amount of money that you can bet on player props because it's the Super Bowl. So any of these plays here, as we get closer to game time, I expect to see some higher arbs. But again, if you're limited on DraftKings and MGM, then bet as much as you can. You might be surprised. You might be able to bet $50 or maybe $25 on some of these plays if you're limited. Good question there. All season Irish. Love that. Golden Goat. No Vegas a challenge to earn cash for power play points markets. Any good totals for handicapping that? So I don't really have any, I would say, any sharp books that come to mind when it comes to, that particular market. Appreciate you asking. I would say, you're going to probably want to use a bit of a collective blend. I don't even know if Pinnacle offers odds for that market. And that's the hard thing, right? If there isn't really a sharp sports book, or if it's just FanDuel, I would lean a little bit on FanDuel just because they're the largest sports book in America, so they take the most money. Let's go over and look at the middles tool. And because they take the most money, that would indicate to me they're going to be a little bit sharper, but that doesn't always mean that's the case. Yeah, we got to get off the total points mark. I don't know where this is because I got this pulled up right now. Definitely deflating. So we're just going to remove again 4CX. But shout out to them. Very, very solid exchange book. Hey, Kalshi. So, but it's a good question. So a couple of things here. This Seahawks play with the Patriots, obviously the odds. That's what I would do though. Go. I mean, I would try to use that as a blend, but it's going to be difficult if you don't have many sharp books to kind of take a look at what's up. On Kalshi here, obviously there's almost $5,000 in the Patriots at plus 13.5. The Seahawks are minus 13 on BetRivers. What you're hoping for is that the Patriots win the game by 13 points. If the Patriots don't win the game by 13 points, then whatever you wager here, you're going to lose this amount of money, right? So if you put up 134, you're going to lose 51 cents, okay? But if the Patriots do win by 13 points, then your bet gets refunded to you on BetRivers, so you get your $34 back. But you win this wager on Kalshi, so you make about $32 in profit. So think of it this way. You're wagering 51 cents in order to make $32 in profit. So if you wagered $500, try to find a nice round number here for BetRivers. Because Kalshi doesn't care what you wager. So you bet $150 on BetRivers, $4.46 and change on Kalshi. Whatever happens, you're losing basically $4. But if the Patriots win by 13, then you're getting paid out, looks like 140 some bucks, right? Because you're going to get your 150 returned to you, but you're going to make this total payout, which is really solid. I'm sorry. So it's going to be really, really good, right? You're going to make just over $100, 140 some dollars, wagering $4. So it's kind of like your parlay, right? This is a different way to play a parlay. Instead of having an 8-leg parlay, I don't know, just play a middle. And then you got one play that you have to focus on. But if it hits, you're going to get paid really well. Now, this is going off of negative percentages. You don't want to mess around negative percentages? No problem. This EuroLeague basketball game tomorrow, it's plus percentage. So, you're going to make a small profit here no matter what happens. But the more that you wager, the more money you can make. And if this basketball score lands exactly on 174 points, you get your money refunded to you on Pinnacle. You win the over on an offshore sportsbook called Every Game. You make like $230 of profit because your payout's $488. It's really, really good. So that's why when you come across middles, guys, that are positive percentages, literally unload the bankroll. Put $1,000 on this, whatever the max wager is. Because if they hit this, you're going to get paid out like it's low risk, high reward. And in this case, you're going to make $9 in profit no matter what happens. But if they score 174, you're bringing home like $950 in profit. So check out positive middles. Again, if it's a negative middle, the larger the negative percentage, the more money that you have to risk then, or you're going to lose if you don't hit the middle. But still something to take a look at, especially on Super Bowl plays here. You never, ever, ever, ever know. Could be a low-scoring game, right? Could be. So, worth taking a look at. So, that's the middle tool. Let's take a look at the EV tool. Mainline markets. Let's just pull up some mainline markets. Let's see what's up. My favorite time of the day in the morning to go after and look for mainline markets. So, not really going to set much up here. It's going to be Pinnacle in worst case. Again, guys, you can see power default, 225 results. If I go to worst case, 156. If I go to best case, it's 250, right? 222. So you kind of see what's going on. Worst case is always going to show the least amount. It's the most conservative. That's what makes this kind of so troubling. So, again, I'm going to remove overtime because that's where most of the opportunities are coming from. I will be back on tonight, guys, at, almost forgot, 6 o'clock Eastern. So we're going to be streaming at 6 o'clock Eastern, hitting up some player props. Appreciate that, Levi. Thanks for letting me know. So the 4CX play is a phantom play, guys, so ignore it, and makes sense. Okay, got some tennis plays early on. I'm really kind of just showing everything. If you like to bet esports, guys, Bet365, Bet Online, Pinnacle, they do accept these plays. Alcorn State, this is a little bit of a juicier underdog, but a couple things. Number one, Pinnacle's only taking $250. So, be that as it may. But it's a really good play over on FanDuel. Now, FanDuel's not taking a lot of money on this play either. Any line movement or no? Just the way they set things up. Yeah. Pinnacle opened at plus 157. So it could be a really good spot for you guys to take Alcorn State if you like a little bit more of an underdog. If anyone still has a healthy thrills, this is pretty solid. And then Alabama State on FanDuel is at minus 130, first half money line. Again, this is SWAC basketball, if memory serves correct. A lot of conferences of college hoops. If I'm wrong, don't beat me up too hard. It's hard to remember them all. Alabama State, though, minus 130, taking on Florida A&M. Again, these are smaller schools. It's first half money line. But Pinnacle's 30, it's a low hold to Pinnacle. What do I mean by that? Well, Pinnacle has Florida A&M at plus 130. FanDuel has Alabama State at minus 130. So when the one side and the other side's the same number, that's a 0% hold. That's normally a very good bet that you want to place on Alabama State. Texas A&M Commerce on the money line. Again, it's a money line play, but it's a very low play because Pinnacle's only taking $250 at the moment on this play, but this is a Canby play that looks pretty good. Today, soccer, Argentina, under 1.5. Pinnacle's taking almost $1,000 on this play, plus 150 odds. Appreciate that, Irish. Nylander, anytime goal scorer on FanDuel. Looks pretty good right now according to Irish, which I'm sure it's going to meet my criteria. So if you guys want to jump on that, we'll have to see how good it is, but definitely something you can take a look at. Total goals, though, Argentina soccer, like this is minus 200 if you want to play a juicy play. This is one. You know, guys, and we had this happen like last Friday or Saturday. No, I think it was last Friday, Thursday or Friday, right? I bet on Calci, the under on Italy Serie A soccer under 2.5 goals. It was like minus 209. It lost because there were 5 goals scored in the second half. The short odds plays, guys, really drive me nuts. If you don't know what short odds means, it means you're not getting paid out a lot of money. This is a heavy favorite. So when a heavy favorite like this, that we have almost a 69% chance of winning, when it loses, I low-key tilt because it really upsets me. But if I bet something at minus 104, that's a flip of a coin, I'm not as salty. Because it's like, well, you know, and especially on these underdog plays, like Alcorn State, in my mind, I'm like, well, this was like an underdog to begin with. I didn't have a great chance. So the reason I bring that up because when you're going through a losing streak, like I am, your psyche and your mentals really start to work on you. And so I can rationalize this a little bit more. But the minus 200 play, it's still positive EV, guys. Plus EV is plus EV. It's just, you know, I get tilted a little bit more when these plays lose. So as you're kind of seeing, guys, when you're DVigging to Pinnacle, there's a common theme that we're seeing on college hoops with FanDuel. First half money lines. Okay, we see this all the time. Now, these aren't the biggest schools in the world, but this is something that's very common, right? This is kind of this theme that you're seeing. So if you're looking to try to find a new sustained strategy and you're DVigging a Pinnacle and you're like, I've already seen like 3 or 4 first half money lines on FanDuel. Well, then there's one of two things here. Either number one, FanDuel is really sharp and you shouldn't bet this. Or number two, there is a legitimate serious edge that FanDuel undervalues first half money lines for certain teams. And what you're noticing here is plus 148, plus 116. This one's a minus 130, plus 188. So somewhere between plus minus 200 odds, first half money lines on FanDuel could be a legitimate thing. So if you don't want to wager your own money, but you want to test out this theory to see if like this is actually solid, then just come over here and, you know, or click the plus sign, right? And just put it for $1, right? And then just click track. And then you can track all these bets on your OddsJam bet tracker, and then you can export it later, or you could go on your dashboard and see like how's first half money lines doing, right? That's something else, guys. If you just want to paper trade a certain market with a certain book or odds range, use your OddsJam bet tracker because it's going to give you the closing line value. It's going to tell you a lot of really important stuff. This is a tennis match on Bet365. Both of these are starting up soon. Pinnacle's taking almost $2,000 on this. Again, Australian Open's over, guys, but this looks really, really good to Bet365 at minus 120. Almost a low hold. So Bolinkova, there we go. And then this one here, Mana and Linda. Linda at minus 150. Pinnacle's taking $1,500. They got it at minus 172. Bet Online's at minus 170. Again, this is Bet365. This looks really good. I know it's under 2% edge, guys, but this is a money line play, so I'm okay with that. Some good Bet365 tennis plays. Sonmez, good stuff. This Sonmez play starts in like 15 minutes. Yeah. Pinnacle's taking $3K on this, minus 110 all day long. So, you know, I know NBA player props aren't popping up on Bet365, but dude, the next best thing that you can bet over at Bet365 is tennis for Pinnacle. Really, really, really good. All right, let's take a peep at those NHL goal scorers like Irish was mentioning earlier with Nylander. See if it's still there. Did I click it? No? Yes? I don't know. It's kind of having like a bit of a conniption. There we go. All right, so yeah, Nylander. This is a very, very good play on FanDuel. Plus 195. I'm willing to go in on this play. This is a 6.5% edge. Really, really solid. We've obviously went cold a little bit more in January for anytime goal scorers, but it's still a really profitable market. And what else do we have? We got some other ones too as well. Dylan Strome, Tuck, Sam Bennett. All these could get some action from me. You can see Bet365 pops up here as well, guys. So really, really good. Where are we at on Nylander? Okay. All right, I'm going to throw in a 50 spot on Nylander. All right, there we go. So if you guys want to, instead of doing it there, I'll throw the link down here if you want to bet this. Yeah, Levi, do it every day. Every day. I'd say January wasn't nearly as profitable as the other months. Might have had a losing month on January because we went really cold on Saturday. But, you know, we're also betting a higher odds range in terms of lower win percentage. But this Nylander plays very good. Really anything above 3% is excellent. So again, guys, if you have a Bet365 account that's not limited, NHL anytime goal scorers, Alex Tuch, Rickard Rakell, like these are plays I'd play over there. You still have plenty of utility using OddsJam with Bet365. We've talked about on the evening streams how you can look at Hard Rock's player props and find some value on Bet365 for the NBA. So for those of you that aren't limited yet, very, very, very solid. Highly recommend it. Okay, so yeah, some really good stuff here. Really good plays. And then Alex Tuch as well. I would definitely go. I mean, I'm already on FanDuel, so we can grab that right now. Sabres and the Panthers. And if you want to kind of keep it safe, guys, anything, like I said, above 3% is really good. I'm going to dump the remaining amount of money in here. All right. Again, I'll throw this link over here for you guys. He was just plus 200. There we go. Nice to see that you moved it. Yeah, it was even better. If you get it at plus 200, that's definitely probably a 7% edge, if not higher. Yeah, it's 8. So that's really, really good. But glad you're able to get that. So we'll grab Tuch here and throw him in. So, yeah, guys, NHL goal scorers, still bet them. Still do them a lot. Bet them every day. And they'll come back. I know that for sure. They're very, very good. But again, a lot of these plays, we're talking 36, 33, 32, right? 31, percent chance of actually hitting. That's the fair chance. So if you don't like betting plays that have a 33% chance, I understand. Just don't bet them. It's okay. And then let's take a look at some Super Bowl plays. I want to take a look at some Super Bowl props to kind of see what's up. Let's go for the next 7 days. And let's just grab all markets. And I'm cool with going like this. Let's see what we have. No, Levi, I'm using a basic EV. I'm using the Kelly Criterion strategy. So I've made a video kind of outline the whole strategy, detailing it step by step. So I'll be happy. Let me share that link with you. Not that I'm not willing to share right now, but just for the interest of time and everyone else. I made a video kind of dissecting it so you can kind of go through whenever you have a moment and just kind of watch it. And here it is. All right, so let's take a look at anything but overtime. So Ramondre Stevenson, and I'll double check these overtime plays right now just in case. But I'm not expecting to see a ton. Not expecting these plays to actually be correct. Like first half point spread for the Seahawks. What do we got? Yeah, that's at minus 145. So these aren't correct. So we're just going to remove overtime. But they are correct for player props, just not main markets. All right, Ramondre, there we go. Sam Darnold, passing attempts. So, all these books, guys, are going to give you great boosts for the Super Bowl. So if you can find a couple plays like on Bet Rivers, they're giving you a boost. Take the Ramondre over, Sam Darnold over, maybe Drake made a throw pick. Right, there's your 3-leg parlay that you can get boosted. Hunter Henry on DraftKings and Onyx. We hit this under last week at plus 110. It's a good price. Well, actually, it's not because it's plus 113 on Props Builder. We bet it at plus 110. So right now, the over seems to be a little bit more heavily favored. And you're going to see some different markets here all the time. No problem, man. No problem. Caesars, Kenneth Walker. Really, I'd say, guys, anything above. Now, here's why I would say for player props, guys, for the Super Bowl, I would be willing to go above anything like 1.5% and higher. EV edge, I'd be willing to bet because the liquidity is so much more for player props for this game. I would be willing to take lower edge plays for player props. Okay. So Sam Darnold, normally anything above 2% I take. This is below it, but I'd be willing to bet this on FanDuel over on his passing touchdowns, right? Because you could see Pinnacle's already at $1,000 and we're a week away. Usually, Pinnacle takes $1,000 on NFL props right before kickoff. So it's just increased liquidity. Again, if you're looking at point spreads and these plays are right next to each other, I'd rather take the Patriots to +6 than +5.5. If they lose 27-21, you're going to be happy that you took the +6 instead of the +5.5. So, you're sacrificing less than 0.5% of EV. I'd rather have the extra half point and have that security. JSN. Now this one is only 1%. Circa's taking $2,200 on this market, where Pinnacle's only taking $1,000. So JSN at -105 might not be that good of a play. As good if you're looking at Circa and how much money that they're taking. Pinnacle did move though, which that's important. Right now, let me throw up Circa to see what's up. Let me get rid of the score here for a minute. So Circa's chilling here, but Pinnacle moved a little bit, right? And they moved from -114 to -118. Small movement, but again, even though they're taking less than Circa, that movement can mean something if you can get this on Bet365 or the score, or if you have some type of, SGP boost they're going to throw you. This play has an edge. Throwing it with a boosted play is going to be really, really good, right? Ken Walker on his longest run. Dude can bust one. You get JSN on a touchdown, and then, I don't know, maybe we finish it off with another play that has a small edge on the score, right? Maybe not on his rushing attempts, and you can find yourself some really good value. So don't be afraid at this time, guys, to bet player props for the Super Bowl. There's a higher liquidity, so you're going to have a little bit more confidence in the edge that you're seeing. Maybe this isn't a 7% edge, but I think we could agree that it's going to be some type of 3 to 4% edge for sure, or it's really, really good on Ramondre. All right. Cool. That's we'll take a look. I'll throw up some. Let me look at some soccer props. I want to look at just some mainline markets for soccer, guys, and then we're gonna call it a stream here early on this morning. So next 7 days, because we're gonna be getting into betting more football, more soccer for sure, and we're diving into Pinnacle, and Pinnacle's a very sharp book when it comes to soccer. So Ballybet can be sportsbook. This is on Wednesday. Pinnacle's taking a smaller amount of money here, but it looks to be a good price. It's a low hold or an ARB. ARB to Ballybet, low hold to Bet Rivers. Okay, I'm interested there. Again, I have all the kind of the big leagues teed up here, Greece and Switzerland, but if you just want to focus on EPL or Spain or France or Germany, I totally understand, or Italy. I want to make sure I shout out the Italians. No problem at all. But I just like to peruse a little bit, see what's up. A lot of moneyline three-ways here, guys. Just remember, when you're betting moneyline three-ways, if you're betting on Scion, they have to win the match, right? Three-way means that if you bet on a draw, it has to be a tie. If they don't win and it's a push and it's a draw, you lose because you're betting this team as a three-way, right? So you're losing some insurance there with a draw, which obviously with soccer, that happens all the time. But Pinnacle's only taking $500, but you can get plus odds over here at Bet Rivers. So definitely could be worth something. Naturally, as we get closer to game time, they're going to be taking more money, like right here on this match. Pinnacle's taking $10K. So, because this match starts in like 4 hours. So, again, Team Mexico. I got to get down to Mexico. I actually will be going down to Mexico in about a month. So I'm definitely going to sign up with Team Mexico, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. Just so happens, I'll go down to Mexico and sign up for that book and see what's up. But, yeah, guys, always take a look at soccer. Again, with soccer, it's a pretty simple formula. If you want to go ±200 on your odds range, no problem. You're going to deal with a little more variance. Obviously, I've been betting -150 to +130s for the last 38 days, and I've had extreme variance. Extreme variance. It's been pretty crazy, nonetheless. To give you guys an example, and this is just more of me, this is more therapeutic for me, so appreciate you guys listening to this. But if you guys don't know, on the bottom of your odds jam dashboard, there's this little like expected profit versus actual profits. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of give you an example of what my chart looks like. Okay. So here is the purple line. The purple line is my expected profit. This is what I'm expected to make. This is my actual line. And as you can see, over the last couple of weeks, it's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. So for Dub Club and for everyone out there that's been struggling or having a tough time, I'm right there with you in the same boat. Right there with you. So, for those of you that comment and tell me my picks are ass, trust me, I'm well aware. Been in the same boat. So, haven't seen this one before. This one's a new one for me. I've seen it the other side where it's went really high, but we're obviously just absolutely almost at the bottom there. So, got to imagine that it's going to just turn around at some point. No doubt, Skunky. And I will say this, guys. I love OddsJam. I don't know that actual graph. I don't really know how accurate it really is. Right? I don't really know. I don't know how many, if the expected profit, how many simulations that's based off of that purple line. I have no idea. Right? So, really not sure. But for my soccer filters, for you guys, they're looking for it. If I can share it, there we go. Appreciate that, Wilbo. For anyone that wants the soccer filter that I use, there it is. Check it out. And it's pretty simple, right? I don't really look for line movement too much here, guys, because I really trust Pinnacle a lot as being a sharp book for soccer. So there you go. There you go. Yeah, I would say, Wilbo, it's not something that I pay attention to too often, But like I posted that yesterday. I think I won like less than 30% of my bets yesterday, but I beat the close at 80%, which is just like staggering to think about. It's mathematically possible, but it's crazy. All right, guys, that's enough of me rambling about my misery. I will be back on later tonight. Still happy to be with you guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Glad we're going to hit some bets. Things will turn around. They will. And I'll be excited when they do. It'll be great. And I hope that for everyone, hopefully for some of you guys, it's already starting to turn around. I really hope so. Or maybe you're on a heater right now. If you're on a heater, dude, just like hug a pillow or I don't know, hug a loved one and just be like, dude, this is so awesome. But I'll talk to you guys later tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern. Doing it again. More player props. Looking at some mainline markets, Super Bowl stuff. It's going to be a good time. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome Monday. I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Take care.